What's going on, everyone? Cameron Blaze here, welcoming you to the PBA Season 4 Draft Recap for the Atlanta Unknown, as I forgot to turn off Discord notifications, but that is all good. I am the coach, like I said, of the Atlanta Unknown, and today we are going over our draft recap. It's going to be a pretty good one. We had a good draft. Oh my gosh, I'm a little stuffy today, but yeah, we had a draft. It's a different type of draft, and we'll go over that in a second. But real quick, we're going to go over like the history of me and PBA. I've been in it for the first 3 seasons. Season 1, I went 6-4, and did not make playoffs. I lost in I think it was like a win-in kind of battle after starting off 5-0, then finishing 6-4. Kind of a disappointing season, but it all happens. Season 2, I went 5-5, but I made playoffs, and I almost beat Greg in that playoff match. Brought like a Calm Mind Honchcrow or something like that, and a Fractured, and Life for Braylon, and that almost beat him, and it was a really cool match to play, but we lost to him. I think it was like 1-0. Then going into Season 3, we started off 1-4, looking to be almost relegated, but your boy wins out and goes 6-4. Wins round 1 in playoff as well. We beat Matt. We beat the reigning champion, and it was really cool. And then we lose to Cross, which kind of sucks, but didn't have a ground resist on that team because it was such a bad team after we did a lot of training. But it is Season 4 now, and we are here to make the finals and win PBA. If I can win this season, I would be. I just really want to. Like I'm 1-4 in playoffs. I've been in 5 playoff matches. 1-1. I lost my first ever championship match, and then won it, and then I've lost 3 in a row. So, kind of ready to just, win one. Lost IPSA, lost Super International, and I lost GSL. It's time for me to win a championship again, and we're going to do that on the back of this amazing team that we drafted. But, to go over how the draft works, it's a point draft, which is pretty cool. You must draft 9 Pokemon. But your maximum is 11. You get 3 Zmon users, one of which can use any Zmon, so like Z Weather isn't banned on that one Pokemon. Z like Copycat, Z Parting Shot, all that good stuff. All that stuff is allowed on that one Zmon user. So it makes prepping interesting. Gonna be cool to see how it goes out. We have 120 points, and I have the 15th pick of the draft. And that's because I made semifinals, and they put all the people in playoffs in like order of how they finished and stuff like that. And if you won the league, you get the wheel pick with the last pick of the draft, which is, that's pretty cool. I can respect it. But I'm gonna go over I did luckily not get sniped, so there's that. Going into this draft, I knew I wasn't, because we allowed Mega Latios this season, and I knew I was not going to be able to get it, but I really wanted it. But it goes first overall, followed by Manaphy, Jirachi, Tornadus Therian, Magearna, Victini, Tapu Koko, Landorus Therian, Skarmory, Salamence, Kartana, Tapu Fini, Thunderous Eye, and Kyurem Black. So luckily my pick the pick I wanted, that I knew I could actually get, did not go. And that pick is Mega Lopunny. Jennifer is here. Very, very, just such a good Pokemon to build a team around. Return High Jump Kick has no two Pokemon in this game can take those 2, just because of Scrappy, which is really nice. 136 attack stat, 135 speed, 94, 95, or 95, 96 in its defenses, something like that, and then like 50 special attack. But we're not going to use our special attack. This thing's got not only good natural bulk, but it can just hit very, very hard. This thing is one of the hardest Pokemon in the format to swap into. One of the hardest Pokemon to prep for, I know, in my experiences with prepping. Oh my god, dude. This thing hits very hard. Its move pool is really good too. It gets Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, like Quick Attack, Retaliate. It can be a Revenge Killer with the Retaliate, which is really cool. Fake Out, so then silliness can't kill you. I don't know. It gets Drain Punch, so it does get some recovery. Cosmic Power is a pretty cool set. I'm not going to run it again. I ran it, I think, twice in my entire season of having it. And one time it did okay, other time it didn't. So, I mean, the option's there if we need to, like, live a hit. But, I don't know. It also can, like, Baton Pass. It's a pivot Pokemon with Baton Pass. It can Power Up Punch, but you can't pass stats in this league. We made that clear. I'm not 100% a fan of it, but, you know, it happens. I understand why, I guess. But, yeah, you can't Baton Pass stats, but by what I know, you can Baton Pass a substitute. And, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, we have a pivot Pokemon and a fast one, too, at 135 speed. So, I wanted to do, so I grabbed Mega Lopunny, and I was pretty happy about that. I wanted to grab something that can cover Mega Lopunny's weaknesses in flying, fighting, psychic, and fairy. And we do grab something that covers all except for one. And that is my boy Celesteela. Iron Maiden's out here worth 18 points, leaving us with 83. Celesteela is a very, very bulky Pokemon. It is unique in the fact that it's the only beast that can boost 4 of its stats in its attack, defense, special attack, and special defense. I do not believe there's another Ultra Beast that can do that. Maybe Guzzlord. No, Guzzlord can't. There's no way. Guzzlord has like 50 defense. But, yeah, what this thing is cool is it can, there's so many sets this thing can run. It can be an autotomized physical sweeper, an autotomized special sweeper. It can be physically defensive, specially defensive. It can Leech Seed Stall. It has a good move pool with Air Slash, like Fire Blast, Earthquake, Heavy Slam, Flash Cannon, Acrobatics. Its only downside, in my opinion, is it doesn't get reliable recovery. I don't think it gets rocks either, which kind of sucks too. It might get rocks. I didn't check. I just knew I wanted Celesteela. I'm making this like right after the draft finished, by the way. It's pretty late. So yeah, Celesteela very, very bulky. It pairs very well because it covers all of Mega Lopunny's weaknesses, and you know it's something really good. If you can get something to cover like all of something's weaknesses, excuse me, that's really good for synergy type purposes. Again, weakness policy, Autotomize is such a good set, and you can just boost that special attack even more, or a physical attack even more with like getting a kill or defenses so you don't die. Like, it's wild how good this Pokemon is. I'm really glad I got to use it, grab it. So something else that I've really like wanted in this draft was a fast electric type, and luckily I did not get sniped on this pick. So 28 picks go by, and it's your boy's turn. Nihilego goes right before me, which I don't really care about. I do get to get Young Thundercats the Raikou. It is one of our Zmon users, just a regular one. Worth 15 points. This thing can hit really hard with its 115 special attack, 115 speed, 100 special defense, making it a good Calm Mind sweeper. Not only that, but it can be an Assault Vest user with pivoting purposes. It can be Choice Scarf or Choice Specs. Its move pool is pretty good with like Orsphere, Extreme Speed. You never know when that can come in handy. You know, it gets, what is the move called? Oh, Extrasensory. It gets Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt. You know, Signal Beam. So it has the moves to like be a good Zmon user, and not only that, it can like bop something that usually can take a hit, like bulky grass types. Like Thunderbolt into Savage Spin Out will kill most things that like wall this thing. Can run like HP Fire for Fortress, but we're not really worried about that. Or Ferrothorn, which dies to Orsphere. I'm pretty sure the event makes you run Naive Nature, so, and Shiny Naive, so we're gonna have to like make this thing shiny so people don't expect it, I guess. But yeah, we're gonna run Shiny Raikou. I just didn't find a good picture of it. I mean, I'm sure there's great ones on there. I used the one that was already on the computer because I was lazy. So yeah, shiny. We're gonna run Shiny Raikou, so there's that. But yeah, it is our Zmon user. 15 points for this thing. I felt like was a pretty good steal. I could imagine this thing up at like the 16s, so I think like 15 was a pretty good grab. Just because of this thing's pretty good. I've seen people use it very well in the past. But something I wanted to grab with my Raikou was I wanted Hydreigon really, 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 really bad after I grabbed Raikou, and I felt like I could have waited on Raikou after Cody decides to take Hydreigon, and yeah, I feel like I should have grabbed Hydreigon round 3 and Raikou round 4. I felt like that would have made more sense because the only person that didn't have an electric type at this time was Zeus, and I don't even think he drafted an electric type at all. So, I mean, he had Mew and Fernape Vaporeon at the time, so I was like, he could grab an electric type. So I went ahead and grabbed it, but he didn't, so. So Hydreigon gets picked, and I'm like, well, my next option was something I did not need to grab at this time, so I was deciding to wait on it, and I grabbed my Fairy type instead. And luckily, Mega Lopunny, you know, right now we don't have a fighting swap in, and luckily Fairies resist fighting types, but what's better than resisting when you can be purely immune to it? That's right, we grab and know you the Mimikyu, holding the Z Crystal, can run any Z Crystal, so Z Copycat is ours, Z what's it called? Z Splash is ours, you know, we can Z Woodhammer, can Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, Toxic. This thing gets all the three of those, I'm pretty sure. What Mimikyu is, it's very unique in the fact that it's not only disguise ability, but it gives it free setup, a free hit off, but it's a speed tier. I like this thing's speed tier a lot. 96 speed enables us to outspeed things like not Hydreigon. I'm pretty sure it does outspeed Hydreigon though. No, it hits 97. It allows us to outspeed things like Darmanitan, Kyurem Black. Those things hit 95 speed, and they're really like powerful, hard-hitting Pokemon. Roserade, we outspeed now. We can outspeed any of those like 95 mons that usually hit really hard, but they just don't hit that 100 mark. We outspeed those, basically all of them. And we just like, it can set up a Sword Stance, it can set up a what's it called? A Splash. Pretty sure this thing outspeeds Zygarde too, which is really nice. The 50% one, not the 10% one. Can set up the Splash, Sword Stance, Shadow Sneak, like Woodhammer. It could be like a taunt set, which is pretty cool. I like Mimikyu a lot on this team. Again, this thing's weak to Ghost and Steel and Poison. I think that's it. And that's covered by Celesteela and Lopunny respectively. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, we grab Mimikyu, and we're gonna complete our our Fairy Dragon Steel Core right here with our next pick. And like I said, I was not worried at all about getting sniped. Most people already had their dragons by now. I felt like I could have waited even longer on it, but I didn't want to risk it. So your boy is gonna grab the thick, gooey monster, Drips the Goodra, also worth 14 points, which is leaving us with 40 points to draft at least 4 Pokemon. So we're sitting pretty okay with our points. So yeah, Goodra is really cool in the fact that it's one of the bulkiest dragon types in the game. It's like 150 special defense, 110 special attack, 100 special attack, 70 defense. But luckily your special defense is so high, you really can just invest in your defense and you're okay. 80 speed, so it gives us something in between Celesteela and Mimikyu. So it hits pretty hard, really hard actually. This was almost a Zmon user as well. Goodra, my next two picks were like candidates for my last Zmon user, but you'll see what it is momentarily. This thing moves pool is insane. It gets things like Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, Surf, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Blizzard. It gets a Power Whip. It gets what's that move called? Rock Slide. Just very, really nice for a dragon type. It has the best coverage of a dragon type in my mind. It also gives us a grass immunity, which is really nice. Gooey's really cool, so like things with Fake Out we can swap into and slow them down a good bit. My one issue with Goodra is it gets worn down pretty easily, and our wish support is non-existent basically. So yeah, we're gonna have to be careful of that. But I feel like Leech Seed into Goodra would be pretty good with from Celesteela. That's our best option, honestly. But Goodra is really nice because it can come basically any week, run any 4 mons, and hit the majority of opponent's team. Live some hits, chip it down easily for Mega Lopunny or Raikou or Mimikyu to come in and just sweep late game. And that's the purpose of this team, to chip down everything, get some kills here and there, and weaken everything for Mega Lopunny to come in at the end and win. That's usually how it works. But after Goodra went, I really wanted Roserade because of spikes, and it makes it all the way back to Zeus, and I'm 1 pick away from me, and he picks Roserade. So it kind of makes me upset. we almost trade our grass types because I grabbed grass types right here, a grass type right here. But we almost trade and we don't. I decided not to because of I like Shaman. Well, I spoiled it. Shaman is on the team. Shay win the Shaman. 12 points. Pretty good steal in my mind. Base 100 across the board. Very bulky. Pretty quick. 100 adds me a 100 in the speed tier. So now we have 135, 115, 196, 80, and 68 or something like that. So we have pretty good speed tiers right now with Shaman adding to the team. And I make Shaman my Zmon user, and it's going to be close. Again, it was close between this and my next pick. Gudra I decided I wasn't going to earlier on. And yeah, what Shaman does, Seed Flare, Z Seed Flare hits so hard. It's very nice. It also gets things like Dazzling Gleam and Air Slash and Earth Power. And between those 4 moves, it's really hard to swap into Shaman. It can also run things like HP Fire, really nice. Really good tech for like Scizor and Skarmory, which it can normally not hit that well. Unless it like roost up or whatever. But this thing also gives us a Leech Seeder. It gets reliable recovery and synthesis. Pretty sure it gets like Swords Dance and Seed Bombed, but I think those are its only physically offensive moves, so we're not going to really run that. But very bulky grass type's really nice. Pairs really well with the Celesteela pick. Our Ice weakness is kind of we have 2 things weak to Ice. We don't have a resistance yet. We will with our next pick. But like Ice types aren't going to be that big of a deal with Mega Lopunny in my mind, so we're okay there. And Raikou can Aura Sphere them. Mimikyu can just pretty sure it gets like Brick Break or something silly. Some silly fighting move it shouldn't get. I'll check again, but Shaman does add a good like aspect to the team. It adds a base 100, bulky grass. People are gonna have to start speed creeping it. Interestingly, they're gonna, I don't know, but again, I want Shaman to do good, and I want to see how it can do with the Z move. So, yeah, that was my thought process. So, with my next pick, I really wanted a spinner, and I wanted Hitmontop. Hitmontop would have added a pretty good. It would have added me Intimidator, and I think like a 70 speed tier, which would have been pretty cool. But the problem was Ace picked it, and I was pretty upset. And there was no good spinners left except for this one, which is one of the best spinners in the game. It gives me an Ice Resist, and it gives me a Psychic type. And if you don't know what it is already by that, it is Starmie. It's pretty quick. 115 speed matches Raikou. 100 special attack is really nice. This was the almost Zmon used candidate, and honestly, I think it's a better Zmon user. But I want to see how Shaman works out with it. And plus, like, Starmie benefits having from a Life Orb, as Shaman does as well, but it can run other sets. Like, Life Orb or AV, like, Starmie is no joke. It's pretty good. It can also run, like, Leftovers. Reliable recovery with Recover. It gets, like we said, Rapid Spin. It gets things like Energy Ball, Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, Dazzling Gleam, Scald, Surf, Hydro Pump, stuff, all that good stuff. Scald, the best move in the game. One of the that is. But it does leave us with 12 points and have at least 2 picks left. So we're fine in that sense, I guess. But yeah, Misty the Starmie, we do complete our we haven't completed our Firewater Grass Core. We do with not our next pick, the pick after that. With our next pick, I wanted something that was I wanted another Quick Mon. I wanted like something either at like 120 speed or 110 speed. Like, and there wasn't many options for 120, but there was a good option for 110. This thing is, on my mind, like underpriced by a lot. This thing's only worth 8, and using 5 points. Pretty sure that's what's next. I should check before I start talking about it. Yeah, it's next. Alright. And it has a base of 140 attack stat and 110 speed. I'm talking about my man Archeops, alright? This thing hits like a truck. It hits so hard. It has 140 physical attack stat, 112 special attack stat, 110 speed, and not only does this give us a Defogger, it gives us Rocks, it gives us a pivot Pokemon with U-turn, to match with our Mega Lopunny Raikou with pivoting options. This thing's Head Smash, there's no swap ins, I'm sorry. Edge Quake on this thing, it's so hard to swap into. Not to mention it can be ran special, it can be ran like physical, it can run like Citrus Berry and Acrobatics, so Defeatus doesn't really take a hold of it too early. You might be thinking like, well, Defeatus is a crap ability, but when you lead with this and you outspeed most other lead Pokemon, you can just click Head Smash and basically get a clean 65 to 120% off on everything in the format that isn't a Steel type, which you just Earthquake, which will do about half. Not only that, but it has a pretty good move pool. It gets things like Dragon Claw, Head Smash, U-Turn, Acrobatics. There's some other moves on there. I know I'm forgetting. Pretty sure it gets like Thunder Fang, Fire Fang, stuff like that. You never know when those can come in handy. It's just very good in my opinion. I feel like this is priced by at least 2 points. I feel like this is at least worth 7, but that's just me. So yeah, so we grabbed this, and I'm ready to grab my Fire type at this point. And I am debating between 2 Fire types at this point. It's either Houndoom or Typhlosion. Houndoom would be cool because it gives me a Dark type, but Typhlosion would be cool because Z Sunny Day is an option. And at this point, I didn't choose my Zmon user, so Typhlosion with like Z Sunny Day and Eruption would just sweep teams. I think that's a very, very good set. Like Z Sunny Day, like Eruption, Solar Beam, and a coverage move, and you're fine. But your boy, as you can tell, because we didn't give it a Zmon user, we went Houndoom. This thing gives us a 95 base speed Pokemon. Really cool. Speed tiering, and just adding to the speed tier. I mean, Mimikyu's at 96, but now we can speed tie things like Darmanitan, making them like, I don't know. You know how you have to choose something to speed creep, I guess, or like speed tie. I don't know. Can't run the min speed or not max speed on Darmanitans and Kieran anymore because of Houndoom. But Fire Blast, just really good. It has like 110 special attack, 95 speed. Its defense is like base 50, but its special defense is okay. And its attack stat's 90, so it can use things like Sucker Punch if it needs to. Gets Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, Dark Pulse, Sludge Wave. Pretty sure it gets Morning Sun too, so it does get Recovery. I'm pretty sure it gets Morning Sun. I'm not 100%, but Max, my dude, I love Houndoom as a Pokemon. I just can't get with it in competitive. So hopefully it's pretty good. Defensively it's really bad, but offensively Fire and Dark are 2 types you can easily spam. And yeah, so we grabbed one that's both Fire and Dark. So as you can see, we have a measly 1 point, but we're basically done with our draft. If I grabbed Typhlosion, we would be done with the draft, but I wanted something that can hazard stack, alright, from the start of the draft. I just had to put that on the back burner from grabbing some other stuff. And your boy is going to grab something that is overlooked, alright. This Pokemon has 85 defense, 65 defense, and holds an Eviolite. It gets Spikes. It can trap Pokemon with like Infestation and Toxic. It can stop setup with Encore and Yawn. It can then like, it's just we're gonna see the god himself pucker up the Shelmet. Oh yes, dude, Spikes are here. It can Toxic Infestation stall. It gets Reliable Recovery. This thing gets recovered for no reason. Like what the heck? Again, it hits pretty nothing. It doesn't hit anything hard because it has 40 in its attack and special attack. But Infestation Toxic Stall is a thing. It gets things like Curse, so it can live all the hits. It can't be crit, and this thing can't be crit with its ability. It also gets like things like Overcoat, so we have a Spore Swap in, another Spore Swap in along with Shaman. Dude, it's just broken. It's broken. We're gonna sweep everyone with this thing. We're gonna set up Curses, Infestation, Toxic, and Recover, and we're done. We win. GG. It is all over. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Comment who your favorite member of the Atlanta Unknown FC are.